We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
I'm back.
Anywhere you meet me, guaranteed to go
I like
down.
the way you ride with that booty on me.
It's going down.
Go down while you looking lonely.
It's going down.
Come around and it's all on me.
Anywhere you meet me, guaranteed to go down.
So, new year, new intro. Let's get it. I'm not so sure if I'm going to promise to be a brand new me this year, but my reactions are going to be a lot differently. I'm not going to be doing the most. I'm not going to be doing above and beyond, and I'm going to stay in my lane. That is how 2026 is going to be from here out. Either roll with me or I'm going to roll over you or around you. Whichever is easier.
Okay, she headed to the dance floor and she slowly started popping it. Song like my wrist piece, everybody got to watching it. Girl, you got that secret treasure, I'm gon' put a lock on it. Don't care what they say, I wouldn't stupid to be not on it.
Watch me flex. If you had told me 5 years ago that I would have to be setting intentions, I would be doing a whole wellness reset, I wouldn't have believed you. I would not have believed that I would be bringing my pup back in a box and not back in her fluffy bed. March 7th was one of the worst days of my life. I lost the cutest dog on the planet. All she wanted was her turkey bacon and me to hold her and get all that hair up all over. She took up half of a queen-size bed, even though she was only a 6.5-pound Chihuahua. Ethel Mertz was everything to me, and she was all I had. And when she died, I had to learn how to live again. I didn't know that I would have to go into therapy again, and I probably should not have left. I would not have just discovered how to be a part of life again. I did not know the importance of being a part of the cycle of life. I would prefer her to be here now. I would prefer not to feel guilty and to feel lonely, but it would be a disservice to her memory if I would just stop being. You lose focus, and it's just hard. But sometimes the hard thing is what makes life worth living. But through it all, my crawling my way back into life, I'm learning how to be thankful. I'm learning that sometimes you have to have intentions in quiet. You have to have a regimen of wellness. You basically start with Zumba to get the blood flowing and to wake up the mind and letting the rhythm take you to that zone. And because you are bona fide big back, you have to do it seated, but you can still get the blood pumping and get your day started. Then you can move on to the quiet intention. You can do what you need to do to your blog posts. Even though I'm really late on getting this of my first blog together for the month of June, I'm thankful that I'm able to come up with something to be able to post. The shift in my evolution is not by accident. It's just necessary. because I've have to find my way back to life to continue to live. If things remind me of that precious dog, I don't have to fall apart. I can still do to continue to be able to share her memories and to be able to exist, even though she's no longer here in her little furry, cute face body. The ritual that you can actually do, because I start my day off with hot lemon water, as well as a hot tea made with ginger, rosemary, lemon balm, and basil. It basically is prepping my body and flushing the system and getting the bowel together for whatever. Is it going to be coffee today, or if it's going to be a vegetable green smoothie? And I'm grateful for those moments every single day. It's warming, and it's just a ability to be able to receive not only your digestive system to receive and digest appropriately food. It is basically prepping you to receive and process all of the information and tasks that you actually have to do throughout the day. Higher order thinking, keeping and the alertness to be able to notice things and to be able to plan ahead. You may not be able to control everything, but you'll be able to control things and take it step by step to make better decisions so your life won't be faulty or always in chaos. By the time you're ready to log into work, it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. You've gone through your thankfulness list. You are going to keep going because not just because you have to, because you want to. That's where all these things actually come into great focus. You get up for that second cup of coffee, preferably from my Kenya single origin from FB Roasters. You can basically step and transition from renewing. Every single day, you are in constant renewal, and that allows you to prepare for the reward that is definitely coming to you, and allow me to gather information and to be able to create content for everyone's enjoyment. It makes me be able to want to read again for pleasure. It makes me put together a reading list so you can either pick from one of my books for whatever purpose and bring it on the retreat. Just note the link to the webpage will be in the podcast notes, but I'm actually planning a retreat right here in Chattanooga, going to the Glamping Collective. There are only 10 spots. So get in contact with me as soon as you possibly can to enjoy the quiet solitude, the fellowship when you need to, and also just the great quietness so you can just quiet your soul to receive input by book, by magazine, by doing some Tai Chi and yoga and some guided meditation, a sound bath. Again, preparing your mind to receive more of life. This rebalance is just more about kicking grief in the face, but it's also about resetting yourself to prepare you to control the next iteration of your life, wherever it is, wherever you want to be. You will get your quiet time to be able to settle your mind to either read a great book or even write a great book if you want to. We need to read the stories that reflect our own rhythms and our own ways of healing. Whether we're reading the history of the Southeast Sea Islands or diving into some new perspective of ancestral practices, the mental nourishment is just as important as the physical movement. All of those things are connected. This connectiveness is a part of the Afro-Druid ethos, which I'll be diving into more so throughout this month, throughout this year. But the tea, the real tea that you drink, dancing and coffee and stories is all a part of the rhythm of renewal. It's not a destination, it's a daily practice of showing up for yourself with a clear head and a grateful heart. If you'll excuse me, I need to update my thankfulness list. And it's too late for coffee because I'm recording this part of the podcast well into the evening. But when you can think about when you're doing your regimen of thankfulness and gratitude and renewal tomorrow morning, yes, I will be hitting either my Kenya blend, single origin blend, or my French roast. But that French roast actually had me tweaking earlier on Monday because usually I've been drinking a lot of steep tea, but I had taken my Ninja my single serving Ninja from my RV before I took it into the shop. And I put enough of those French roast fresh ground coffee grounds into the coffee ground holder, and it was so strong and couldn't wonder why I didn't blink for hours. But that's all good and fun, but you just got to be careful with them beans, child, because you will be tweaking like you hit a pipe or something. I'm just saying. But it's a lot of fun. Join us while we reset and renew at Valley of the Soul Retreat coming up July 23rd through the 26th. Navigate to fbroasters.com, get your gear, and get your single origin or multi-origin sample packs, or even navigate over to my Far From Beale Street bookshop and start reading a part of the reading list for the Valley of the Souls retreat. I think it's going to be a banger in a quiet way. And just let me know what you think about any books I should be adding to the reading list. And as always, take care of yourself and just continue to walk with a clear head and a grateful heart every single day. And thank you for listening.
Slow down the morning, speed up the soul. A world of flavor delivered whole. FB Roasters, your perfect cup, just a click away. Online, on time, oh so bold. Slow down the morning, speed up the soul. A world of flavor delivered whole. FB Roasters, your perfect cup, just a click away. A world of flavor delivered whole. FB Roasters, your perfect cup, just a click away. FB Roasters, your perfect cup, just a click away. FB Roasters, your perfect cup, just a click away.
Well, here I am from the road. I have not felt like recording my podcast, but I'm grateful for the fact that two things. I've made a lot of content over the last 8 years, 6 years, 6 years, 7 years, that I can repeat episodes and it still be new to the listening audience. And I also working with an AI agent to actually also continue to create content. My mind has been in a swirl. For those of the listening audience that don't know, the beginning of May, I lost my best friend, my little Chihuahua Ethel Mertz, who I would joke about that had the heart of a Rottweiler pit bull mix. And it was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. One of the harder things. And I haven't really completely bounced back. What I have done is re-entered therapy, and I should have never left. And this wasn't even to the point where I was going to be fired from my job. I just felt lonely and lost. And that's a lot to put on a dog, but dogs never let you down. They love, and all they want to be is love. All she wanted to do was sit in my lap and eat my food. And I would prefer if she didn't get sick, I would prefer that they could have unblocked her before she aspirated. But I did all I could do. And it's taken me a while to really believe that. You can say it all day long, but you still feel guilty. So working through the guilt, working through the pain, I have decided to start podcasting. This is the first time I've felt like podcasting in a while. I wrote out like this whole sentence or this whole speech, but in actuality, several things are true. Yes, I'm a big bag. Yes, I like food, but I really lost my pet, my best friend, and I'm still grieving that. So I'm still working out some things. A lot of the content I'm putting out is going to be heavily AI assisted, but I hope you still enjoy it. I'm putting together the finer details on this wellness retreat, not only to help me, but to help others also get out of fog, because whether you know it or not, we are in a mental health crisis. And if I can do something to help somebody else walk through the fog to get to the sunny side before they walk off that cliff, yeah, I'll do that. Taking 10 seconds to be thankful that although I didn't have her for a long period of time, I loved her and she loved me back. And she didn't require a whole bunch. She wasn't high maintenance like her owner and other people. I'm thankful for being able to even record the podcast, record it raw, also using all the tools at my disposal, video, audio, and being able to remix and getting something out that hopefully this is a word for somebody else. I'm just thankful that I am in Tennessee, Chattanooga, and particularly at this moment. I think big things are coming where all of us are going to enjoy life on a different and a higher plane. And we still going to have protections from the zombie apocalypse, but that's neither here nor there. I am just grateful and thankful for all of the people that listen to my show. And I hope you just bring a friend. And these upcoming episodes, hopeful that they will bring meaning to your life and help you on your journey to whatever positivity that you seek. So where have I been for the last month? Trying to get my mind right, trying to get it together. But I hope you enjoy that. The podcast is coming back, and it's coming back in full force. And as always, thank you for listening. Take a deep breath. You're listening to TNFro is Reading. I'm your host, Felicia Baxter. Today we're stepping away from the screen and into the soul of the valley retreat from geodesic domes to the perfect morning ritual, we're exploring what it means to lead without pause and how to finally find the off switch. Pour a cup and get comfortable, and let's dive in. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about the cost of constantly being on. We live in a world where grinding is glorified and taking a break feels like a radical act. I was talking to someone close to me about this exact thing. And as I've let the audience know, the last several weeks has been challenging in the realest of sense. I mean, I've experienced loss without compare since the death of and homicide of my father, my sister's illness, and I took on more responsibility at work, but also the loss of my little dog Ethel has brought me face to face with getting back outside and healing. The cost of not unplugging and blocking out the noise of the world, it kept talking me out of my own peace. But honestly, when you're so tired, when you are the leader who manages everyone else, you don't just need a weekend away. You need a softer altitude. You need someone else to manage the world for you, even if it's just for a few days. And all of this is why I came up with Soul of the Valley Retreat. It's not a quick trip. It's a portal to a slower pace of life. Picture this. You arrive at the Glamping Collective, which is this particular property, newest addition in their portfolio right in Trenton, Georgia, 30 minutes from Chattanooga. You take your bag straight to your door, and you have your own private luxury dome. There are no porters, for real, y'all. If you need somebody to help you with your bags, we can arrange it, but it's not that kind of vibe. But there's nothing rushed. The days will be anchored in mindfulness and wellness. We will have adaptive Tai Chi. There's a group Reiki soap paired with a sound bath. Because this is TNFro is reading, I've been expertly selecting reading materials and guided mindfulness workshops designed specifically for leaders who need to remember how to breathe. The culinary experience, that's where the ticket is because I'm a big, unrepentant big back. We start Thursday with a welcome family-style feast, local river trout and brown butter, Angus tenderloin, and peach and blackberry cobbler topped with Chattanooga whiskey ice cream. It makes you want to lick the screen. Just take a look at the visuals on the website. We close Sunday morning with a gentle farewell spread of pastries, avocado toast, mini quiches, and a seasonal fruit before an unhurried checkout. There will be also a breaking of the bread ceremony that will guide us to our final, see if our intentions for the weekend have come to fruition. This is an all-inclusive sanctuary, from the accommodations to the dining to the wellness program. This investment for transformation is $3,250 per guest. It requires you to put half down on a non-refundable deposit, but that secures your booking with the balance due prior to you actually arriving on July 23rd. Now, I know that true uncompromising rest is a commitment. If this summer isn't your moment to claim this level of peace, I see you and I hear you. Keep your eyes open because I'm already dreaming up a separate experience for the fall. But if you're ready to stop talking about burnout and actually hit the off switch, if you're ready for the valley, the domes are waiting for you. So head over to the show notes. You can slide into my DMs for this positive experience, or you can visit the website to secure your spot. But let's get you breathing easy again. Let's be reminded of who you are and whose you are. Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. So take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go anywhere. Where's to know and where's to grow, a TNFro rainbow. I can be anything. So take a look, it's in a book, a TNFro rainbow. A TNFro rainbow. A TNFro rainbow. For the next couple of weeks, or next several weeks, probably even through the summer, going to be discussing my Soul of the Valley retreat themed reading list. My focus is on wellness and healing, and you can navigate to my Far From Beale Street online bookshop to get the details of this particular list and to shop for any other book that you're looking for. But this particular book reading list is focused on the actual glamping getaway, relaxation and restoration, balancing deep insight with an approachable, engaging rhythm. Heavy, emotionally draining reads will weigh down the airy and the peaceful vibe of the Glamping Collective, which is the location of the glamping getaway. But the core authors and the other selections that fit into the Soul of the Valley theme of renewal and reconnection makes the two books that I'm going to discuss in my edition in this part of the episode of Reading Rainbow. These books are lighter fare, but deeply immersive reads. The first one is an author well known to me and probably to a lot of the listening audience, Terry McMillan. I know Terry McMillan from Disappearing Acts, Waiting to Exhale, or Waiting to Post Bail, like most people have renamed the movie, as well as the follow-up, How Stella Got Her Groove Back. But I selected this for the retreat is because this is the ultimate hit the reset button kind of novel. It's incredibly aligned with a mindfulness retreat because Dr. Georgia Young, a successful optometrist, realizes that despite having a great life, she's completely uninspired and operating on autopilot. She decides to make a radical, life-changing shift to discover what truly brings her joy. The vibe itself is energetic, inspiring, and full of agency. It's highly engaging and reads like an uplifting conversation with a wise best friend, avoiding heavy tragedy while still offering massive substance for self-reflection. Singing in the Comeback Choir, I also selected by B.B. Moore Campbell, and I still have to take a second because I may actually already have this particular book in my own stash. But it's perfect for this retreat because while B.B. Moore Campbell is famous for her heavy lifting and social commentary, this particular novel is her most soulful, musical, and restorative work. It follows a high-powered TV producer who goes back home to Philadelphia to look after her grandmother, a former jazz singer who lost her sparkle. It centers entirely on community, reclamation, ancestral roots, and reviving a dormant spirit, all with the whole ethos of the retreat as well as Afro Druids. The whole vibe is soulful, nostalgic, and comforting. It reads like a warm embrace and provides a beautiful talking points about honoring our personal lineages and finding our voices again without leaving the reader emotionally exhausted. And a little bit more about I Almost Found for You, or I Almost Forgot About You. This book itself is big-hearted, genuine, and universal. It shows what can happen when you face your fears, you take a chance and open yourself up to life, love, and the possibility of a new direction. It's everything you've always loved about Terry McMillan. And also, with that in mind, these are going to hopefully be the things that you would start to love about yourself as you reset, and you actually reset to continue to grow. You work through the fear, the self-doubt. Also, B.B. Moore's book, Singing in the Comeback Choir, is why Entertainment Weekly call her a master when it comes to telling a story, a tale of hope and redemption, and making the impossible come true. This is Washington Post Book World. If this is a fair world, B.B. Moore Campbell will be remembered as the most important African-American novelist of this century. Her writing is clean and clear. Her emotions run hot, but her most important characteristic is uncompromising intelligence coupled with a perfectionist eye for detail. And again, after I finish recording and cleaning up this section of my podcast, I'm going to really have to look through my stacks, my own personal stacks, to actually see if I already have this, because I will not only be adding this to the bag for the personal swag for participants of the Soul of the Valley retreat, but I also have to add this to the stacks if it's not already there.
Let's calibrate the frequency on this one. The swamp is crowded, full of underfed, frozen-faced predators, snapping at marbles, desperate to be the chosen editors. They call it a lifestyle, but the game is just a rigged simulation. A no-win test designed to force a toxic confrontation. But the operator arrived with a full-blown session. No damsel in this room, no victim waiting for a cape. Just a mogul in the shadows, measuring the shape.
The Oprah Winfrey Network's own hit docuseries, Heart and Hustle, Houston, has captured a dedicated audience by serving a distinct blend of Black excellence, Southern charm, and highly complex relationship dynamics. I usually don't like to recap shows that Reality with the King and his crew, from Monday Night Live to Monte Carlo, and even with that bubble lip Alexis Bellino when they were recapping The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because I think they do a better job of it. So I basically do retrospective look backs and trying to dig deeper into the shows that I'm interested in from a purely technical standpoint. Some of these shows, I started doing this because also I needed to keep the cast and who was who right and what their storyline was. And I use AI. My AI agent. Thank you, Gemini, for helping a sister out. So the show itself is produced by Jesse Collins Entertainment in partnership with OWN. I didn't know who Jesse Collins was until I started looking him up. And he is a Emmy Award-winning production powerhouse, highly respected for delivering top-tier Black entertainment culture. They produced the BET Awards and The Real Husbands of Hollywood. to major network specials. Their footprint on Heart and Hustle Houston ensures that while the interpersonal drama is high stakes, the series maintains a sleek, visually stunning focus on genuine entrepreneurial grind, community, and personal healing. And and I know there's no comparison, but this just feels different from other owned shows like Huntsville and the Bells, etc. It definitely feels different from the blonde bubble lip version of Bravo's docuseries. So this show is a whole different vibe. And again, it's great to be able to see people that represent myself as well as most of my family and group. But these women are very highly successful in their own right. They don't seem to be on the struggle bus, but they do have their own struggles. The core group is 6 powerhouse women that dominate Houston's competitive business and social landscape. Chloe Cook, she's 44. She's known as the straight shooter. She's an elite high-end event planner who is rebuilding her life and rediscovering her personal joy after the tragic loss of her first husband. Elena Salisbury is 38. She's H-Town's glam girl. She's the visionary founder and CEO of the major beauty and cosmetic empire Color du Jour. Ro Grady Pichardi is 39, and she's the nightlife queen, a commanding and sharp-witted restaurateur thriving in Houston's highly competitive, male-dominated hospitality industry. Latoya Lemon, they don't give her age because she's probably not putting it out there, but, black don't crack, so not quite sure how old she is. She's the hopeless romantic, a PR maven running an award-winning public relations firm while navigating intense personal grief. Manera Page, 43, Mrs. Perfect. She's an electrical engineer turned wildly successful digital content creator and brand influencer. Facts and goals. Just saying, Manera. Labrina Jackson, 35. She is a Southern belle. She's younger. She's younger by 4 to 10 years. She's a Southern belle, the younger elite spa and wellness owner focused on breaking generational patterns and building a legacy. The off-camera drama and storylines. Elena storyline, because I said this my last podcast episode, I believe, serves as the heaviest emotional anchor of the series. After attempting to move past the fact that her husband Josh has stepped out on her during the engagement, the Band-Aid is completely off. Season 2 captures their raw separation and pending divorce in real time as she fights to protect the beauty empire she built, as well as her sanity and her children's emotional safety. There's a huge mean girl fracture. A massive, explosive off-camera fallout between the seasons permanently split the core sisterhood into opposing, warring factions. The fallout radically shifted group dynamics, most notably targeting Labrina, who went from being viewed as a safe caretaker of the circle in season 1 to being branded the ultimate mean girl by her former friends, in season 2. Rose's storyline shifts focus heavily to her personal life when her ex, Javon, rolls back into Houston trying to establish a healthy co-parenting boundary for their daughter, forces Rose to confront a tidal wave of unhealed, lingering emotions that threaten her hard-earned peace. Then it's the whole Jordan role and the male baddie narrative I want to dive deep into, because this seems to be a reoccurring theme. Even in white Bravo sphere, we got Goofy West from what is that show? Oh God. Where they go up. Oh my God, I can't I'm so dumb. Oh my goodness, why can't I think? Summer House, jeez. And we got the male baddie who appears to be Portia Williams prop in Real Housewives of Atlanta. We got Glenn. He actually thinks he's a male baddie and such a superior catch on the original Bells of Jackson. And then we got this fool who is basically, it seems like he's only positioning his stance to get more coverage while usurping Chloe's clout. He's basically, sounds like he's in it for the social currency and not for any real connection. He is the reality TV archetype, defining young, hyper-groomed, image-obsessed men who leverage high-profile relationships with older, established women for social currency. I believe Glenn and Letitia are in the Bells are about the same age, and they're in their 40s, so they ain't all that old. But I look at how Glenn's hair is perfectly trimmed, his skin is perfectly moisturized, and he's wearing all this bling like he's on his way to perform in a rap video instead of living in Jackson, Mississippi. It's hilarious. But Jordan, he's not all that bad looking. He's not all that hard on the eyes, but his youth is front and center. There's a 17-year age gap between him, 27, and Chloe, 44. It's the focal point for the cast and Chloe's protective family. Her family is just saying, nah, something's up here. There is questionable, and they rightfully so, his maturity level, and it casts a heavy shadow over his attempts to integrate into her life. Chasing clout versus commitment, his behavior constantly blurs the lines between genuine romance and strategic clout chasing. While he orchestrates a massive, highly produced wedding proposal in season 2, ironically pulling LaToya in the hot seat to planning. This grand gesture is constantly undermined by dark revelations regarding his financial background and personal history. Jordan embodies the male baddie aesthetic, focusing heavily on his physical presentation, his curated lifestyle, and stepping into affluent rooms provided entirely by Chloe's established legacy. By ignoring the glaring red flags regarding his past and prioritizing a glossy, fast-paced romance, Chloe's storyline acts as a cautionary tale about what happens when independent women lower their guard for surface-level validation. Also, I will put the link to the Heart and Hustle Houston cast introduction and to some other discussions about the storyline in the podcast notes for your review at a later time. So, what's up with Labrina and why is she coming off as a mean girl? That fracture about Labrina being defensive after being called out for her messy elitist attitude and then having Munera trapped in an exhausted middle ground is a combination, and it's truly a reality TV gold. Her anger is when Labrina's anger stems from the group stopping buying her perfect maternal caretaker persona when she flipped the script and claimed everyone else was just being fake and beneath her. That was the problem. She entered season 2 with a massive shift in energy. The moment she was overheard talking behind the woman's back, constantly saying arrogant phrase, they're not on my level, and calling that other girl precious when we all know that is not a compliment. It got her label for the mean girl that she was being. Instead of taking accountability or offering a genuine apology for the elitism, Labrina doubled down. Her anger wasn't actually because the other women are fake. Her anger stemmed from the fact that she got caught. When she got confronted, her explanations felt parsed and backpedaling. Rather than humbling herself, she just got defensive, trying to twist the narrative to make it look like the other women were just being insecure, jealous, or ganging up on her success. It is textbook projection. She wants to maintain the high moral ground of being a spa owner who only breaks generational curses, but her actual behavior in the text of these episodes is just messy, exclusionary, and deeply patronizing to the rest of the friend group. Manera seems like she's just caught in the middle. She's in a uniquely painful position because her brand and her personality are built on structure, logic, and keeping a smooth, curated exterior. She doesn't thrive in low vibrational screaming drama, which makes her the default mediator. This part of the episode where she is there also posing with the beautiful outfits with her stepdaughter is just so classic. It's so curated. And then her oldest daughter basically breaks the facade by saying her father is just reaching for his moment. It's just classic teenager blowing up your spot, and they all go from tears to busting out laughing. And that was the comedic relief in the whole fakery of it all. And that's why I was okay with it, because it was just so grand. Also, I'm already sick of watching Labrina backpedal and sit with her head all high and her little bow collars and looking just like I'm perfect, Black Miss USA, now wifed up. I want to present this image of perfection when I'm messier than all of y'all. At least the other women own it. She ain't trying to own anything that makes her look less than her brand and her image that she's trying to build. And it just it's hard to watch her in scene. The trap is the loyalty Manera has with Labrina. It's obvious that she genuinely loves and respects her, but she's also an electrical engineer and she operates in facts. She can see clearly that Labrina has really crossed the line with her elitist comments. And she's not only why can't you just apologize, admit when you're wrong? Because Labrina doesn't think she's wrong. She thinks that I said what I said and y'all can suck it or just prove me wrong. That's the kind of wrong dynamic in a multifaceted and a dynamic group as this. The group attempts to settle the beef, and you can literally see Munering sweating to keep the conversation productive. And also Ro, but Ro is a fast talker and she ain't with the shit. She's just like, y'all need to squash this, figure out what's wrong, and let's keep it pushing because y'all messing up my bag. Labrina keeps jabbing at the women, something that Elena and Ro are trying to tell Labrina to tone down your ego because it is not productive. We begin to find out later that Manera is also dealing with her own personal storylines, unpacking her own parents' toxic marriage, and why and how she built these emotional walls in her own life. She's trying to play a mature adult therapist for a bunch of women fighting over who is on whose level, and it's draining her spirit. I liked her when I first saw her because she was bubbly. I thought she was one of the youngest persons in the group, but these group dynamics and what's going on in her personal life is visibly aging her in real time. Labrina isn't mad because the circle is fake. She's mad because the circle unified to hold her accountable. And she doesn't know how to navigate a reality TV landscape where she isn't the protected favorite. Munera isn't choosing a side because she knows that the second she fully commits to either faction, the entire fragile architecture of this Houston sisterhood will completely collapse. And I'll probably add on to this dynamic as the summer wears on because it's completely fascinating, and the complex navigating of these relationships on camera is only a microcosm of what these people actually go through and have experienced a year since this was actually recorded. So I wonder how all of this is going to parse out, what new things are going to be inflamed after the episodes start airing. So I'll keep you apprised what's going on as far as on the Twitter of it all and on the Instagram of it all and then the threads of it all. So there you go. The takedown of Amanda Batullo and how she overplayed her hand. The Standard Bravo edit has completely shattered this girl. The dramatic irony of watching season 10 of Summer House and a spinoff in the city, knowing she and Wes Wilson issued a romantic joint statement on the 31st, completely recontextualizes 10 years of reality TV. It strips away the sack, long-suffering wife performance art, exposing the deep entitlement, weaponized victimhood, and calculated moves that brought her to this point. Amanda is from a wealthy family. She entered Summer House in season 1 backed by the safety net of an upper middle class New Jersey wealth. Her parents' manicured backyard actually served as her wedding venue, and her father famously acted as the financial enforcer when Kyle Cook owed hundreds of thousands of dollars in corporate debt. Amanda never had the raw, desperate hustle of castmates like Lindsay or Danielle. Her background allowed her to treat working as an adult option. That's why she was creative director without actually contributing anything to Loverboy. That's why she basically falls back on a canyon and took this moniker of long-suffering wife because she went from being a wealthy, spoiled princess to wanting fame. And it's so funny because Angela Oakley from Real Housewives of Atlanta said she never laid on her back to get anything. And that's exactly what this white girl did. She was sleeping with the CEO. She routinely used to complain about being overworked while refusing to actually take actual operational accountability. It's ridiculous. She went from side chick to ring winner. Don't forget that Amanda started the show as a booty call Kyle refused to claim on camera. She spent seasons 1 and 2 absorbing public humiliation, staying with a man who blacked out and cheated on her repeatedly. Instead of walking away with her dignity, she stayed to win a war of attrition. She leveraged the audience sympathy to force Kyle into an engagement and a wedding, transferring her identity into the moral compass of the house. She weaponized her pain, turning Kyle's past mistakes into a blank check that allowed her to punish him indefinitely. She was the quintessential reactionary abuser, and it wasn't until this chaos erupted that I didn't even know that there was such a thing. The season progressed. This dynamic shifted from Kyle being a cheater to Amanda becoming a textbook abuser. She did this under the guise of dealing with Kyle when he's drunk and normalized behaviors that would cause immediate cancellation if the genders were reversed. She locked him out of the apartment and the houses. She smashed his expensive property. She spent years dog whistling, poking, prodding, and eyes staring at him on camera to deliberately trigger his explosive drunken meltdowns so she could sit back, smile, and play the blameless damsel to the house. By season 10, her performance became incredibly calculated. While Cal was publicly sweating over Loverboy facing unprecedented financial ruin, Amanda was on camera sobbing to the girls about her low self-esteem and crying that Kyle is the best I can do, deliberately laying the groundwork for the audience to take her side when she executed her exit strategy. The physical transformation across 10 years tracks perfectly with her emotional hardening. In the early season, Amanda was a healthy, naturally curvy, beautiful woman. I almost didn't recognize her. I was like, who is this girl talking to Kyle? When I basically saw some clips of like season 1, season 2, because I didn't come into the summer house of it all until like the last couple of seasons, and I only skipped to the reunions. But following the public embarrassment of Kyle's cheating scandals, she dramatically altered her appearance. She pivoted to intermittent fasting and extreme carb elimination to drop some 20 pounds down to a fractional size. While she frequently body checked on Instagram and claimed that she doesn't work out, viewers like myself notice the physical toll of her high-stress life with Kyle, including episodes where she suffered severe headaches and lack of basic hydration and nutrition. The obsession with shrinking herself into a skeletal frame was praised by the toxic internet culture, but it reflected an internal state. She starved her body while starving her marriage, clinging to a glossy, empty aesthetic while her character and integrity decayed under the surface. Sierra Miller was never the choice. The ultimate casualty of Amanda's calculation, was her absolute portrayal of Sierra Miller. Throughout season 10, Sierra was the ultimate friend to Amanda, holding her while she cried, validating her marital trauma, and fiercely defending her against Kyle. Meanwhile, Amanda was quietly coveting Wes Wilson, the man who spent the previous year publicly stringing Sierra along. They actually opened up one of the latest episodes of In the City when they all went out on a triple date. And it was so cringy because we had already seen 2 parts of the reunion. That joint statement had already dropped in March. It was just really cringy. Sierra was never, ever going to be chosen by them because both Amanda and Wes used Sierra as currency and not as a person. For Amanda, Sierra, along with Paige before she left, provided the ultimate. And you know what? I just thought of that. Where does Paige weigh in on any of this? Is she keeping a low profile because her name is she acting like my name is Bennett and I ain't in it? I wonder why. I'm going to have to pause and deep dive on that. Because she and they were the ultimate social protection shield. Being aligned with the cool, beautiful Black girl in the house gave Amanda cultural relevance and insulated her from being seen as a bitter, wealthy white woman she is. She took Sierra's intense protective loyalty and traded it in the second Wes offered her validation that made her feel young and desired again. Ooh, child, looky here. Paige DeSorbo is not an Amanda apologist. While she has been the historical bridge between the women on Summer House, she picked a side in the aftermath of the Amanda West romance, and that side is Sierra Miller. On the April 3rd episode of the Giggly Squad podcast, Paige and Hannah Berner addressed the scandal. Paige was very no nonsense about who her real friend was, and that was Sierra. And she kept referring to Sierra as her real friend in real life. Basically, this is what she said, almost verbatim. Sierra's our real friend. We have been talking to her, consoling her. We are behind her 100%. This means that, and also she took to social media signaling her disgust with the situation. Within minutes of Amanda and Wes posting their joint statement, Paige commented on a video saying she was shocked on that internet, shocked by it. She was even telling fans that she was openly liking hostile posts about the couple. And then they were wished nothing but the worst about how they were treating Sierra. She also demoted Amanda in one fell swoop to a work friend and not a real friend. Paige was a bridesmaid in Amanda's wedding to Kyle, but her betrayal of Sierra, who Paige considers family, was a bridge too far and it burned everything up. Sources close to production indicate that while Paige remains professional, the trust is permanently broken. Paige has reportedly viewed Amanda's secret romance with Wes as a violation of girl code and their trio, the beautiful girls, Paige, Sierra, and Amanda. Since the reunion aired and the romance was confirmed, Paige has notably omitted Amanda from her social media tributes and supportive posts, focusing on Sierra's brand and mental health. It is obvious that Paige is Team Sierra. She has essentially voted with her public support and private time, proving that while Amanda might have been her TV bestie for a decade, Sierra is her sister. Paige is not defending the damsel act this time. She's actively distancing herself from the collateral damage. Well, go ahead on, Paige. I ain't mad at you. Amanda and Wes align because they are both takers who hide behind a shucks, poor me aesthetic. Wes latched onto Amanda because she's a permanent ticket to the center of the Bravo universe, potentially banking on a post-breakup hype arc. Amanda leaned into Wes because his surface-level charm provided an easy, ego-boosting escape hatch from her imploding life. The permanent dissolution of Sierra and Amanda's friendship at the season 10 reunion remains one of the most dark and cynical outcomes in the show's history. Amanda proved that behind the designer's outfits, the wealthy pedigree, and the carefully curated victim narrative, she possesses zero foundational loyalty to the women who carried her throughout her darkest years. Wes Wilson hasn't just checked out. He was never actually checked in. What we're witnessing is the fallout of Summer House Season 10 is a classic anatomy of reality TV F-boy who realized too late that he bit off way more than he could chew. Wes didn't want a relationship. He wanted a storyline that kept him central to the Bravo universe. Now that the cameras have captured the collateral damage, his Zen attitude is just a defensive mask for a man running a massive PR calculation. And the math ain't mathin', child. The illusion that Wes, as a harmless, goofy Midwestern boy, completely evaporated during this reunion. Behind the scenes, the details exposed him as an active, calculating player. He had secret girlfriends. Wes was whispering sweet nothings to Amanda and trying to convince the audience that their romance was an organic, friendship-turned-love story. He was actively dealing with outside women, including a girl named Miha, whom he reportedly treated with exclusivity. When confronted with the reality that he was sending explicit photos to other women while hooking up with Amanda, Wes used the ultimate desperate F-boy excuse. My phone got hacked. No, it didn't. You was sending dick pics to other women, boy. He didn't protect Amanda. He's exposed her to the exact same public embarrassment he inflicted on Sierra the year before. And I'm looking at, is she going to use, I was only supposed to hook up with him, now he's treating me so dirty. I wonder if the watching audience is going to buy that defense and let her abuse him like they allowed her to abuse Kyle, her husband, for all the years forward. The most telling sign that Wes is checked out is his total silence when Amanda is on the chopping block. During the reunion, Amanda took a relentless hour-long verbal beating from the entire couch for her betrayal of Sierra. Her shady timelines, her dishonesty about sleeping with West back in January, while she supposedly leans on her girlfriends for support. A man who is genuinely invested in a woman stands up, takes the heat, or at least attempts to shield her. Wes did none of that. He sat on the couch, completely detached, letting Amanda take 100% of the brunt and the social media vitriol while he preserved his own energy. He is treating Amanda like an optional accessory. The moment she became heavy and required him to lose social capital with the rest of the house, his emotional investment flatlined. Sierra delivered the absolute truth of West's dynamic in the final moments of the reunion. First part, she perfectly explained why this relationship is inherently hollow. She noted, I honestly think the best woman for West is someone who's not going to check him on anything. And that's totally Amanda. She's very mute. She's going to be that weak figure that he needs, and he can always be the star in the relationship. Wes is checked out because he never wanted an equal partnership that required accountability. He chose Amanda because her history with Kyle proved she has exceptional high tolerance for bad male behavior and public humiliation. Wes and Amanda's joint Instagram statement on the 31st was carefully worded to give them an immediate escape hatch, calling the romance very new and asking for space to process. In reality, Wes is playing a strategic game. He knows that being attached to Amanda makes him an enemy to Kyle Cook, a pariah to Sierra, and isolated from the core fan base that now heavily favors the rest of the house. He's going through the motions to avoid looking like a total villain who used a woman during her messy divorce, but make no mistake, his eyes are already on the door. He's scanning for the next opportunity to salvage his brand. The intense dynamics of the first part of the reunion that illustrates Wes's detached, calm demeanor while Amanda faces the consequences of their secret romance is absolutely cringeworthy, but like every other train wreck, it makes it impossible for you to look away. The third part of the reunion was just as messy, and now they got this fourth part, tying up the bows, watching Sierra align with Mija, and Wes still not taking accountability. Amanda still doubling down that she wants both her marriage and her continuation of reactive abusing Kyle and chilling with the fuckboy to get her rocks off. So she spent a decade trying to convince her she is the put upon wife, and now she has to are we going to give her another decade to rebuild her image to something more palatable? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to check into that, but makes for great TV in the moment, you know? You can take the girl out of the hood, but you can't take hood music out the girl. But I'm going to end this with a word, just as I started this podcast. Do or do not do. There is no try. And that's a word from Yoda. I hope I have conveyed just how much fun I have had in creating this podcast. I've got my mojo back. just set your intention or reset your intention. It could be daily if necessary. Mine is peace. No mental dumping over here. If I'm acting like I'm not listening, I'm probably not. I'm not your therapist. I'm not a therapist. Keep the crazy to yourself, child. You do you and leave me be. The sooner you figure that ish out, the happier you will be. So this is what I want to convey in this podcast. And that wraps another of FAFFO has a fro. Join me next time as I throw shade and point out the shade and simply have fun. Y'all have a great new year. What, y'all? What?